Oh shit! Okay, so hello, we're the Beefy Boys. I'm Murph. This is Lee, and we're here today with Rob and Noz from the infamous Nozstock.
How do you do?
How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Infamous, yes.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Just
Lee.
Yeah.
Dad, nice
Cool.
to meet you.
Right, so today we're going to be cooking 2 tomahawk steaks, and we're going to be doing a really nice Caesar salad. You guys ever made a Caesar salad from scratch before? Okay, it'll be a good learning curve for you guys today then. Here we are, so we've got 2 tomahawks there.
Ribeye with a bone.
Basically that's all it is. It's a ribeye with a long bone on the end. You like a long bone, don't you, Lee?
On the end.
Yes, he does indeed. Right, so yeah, these are the ones we're going to be cooking. So first of all, we can look at prepping these. So I'll just chuck them on. Right, we'll get some gloves on the go actually. So yeah, do you want to tell everybody a bit about who doesn't know? Just look a little bit about Nozstock Festival. What do you guys put these gloves on?
Nozstock is a 7,000 capacity festival held in Bromyard every year.
Mighty Bromyard.
Mighty Bromyard. Been going for 20. I got some. Been going for 20.
Very hygienic those ones.
I've been going for 22 years. 11 stages, including comedy, theatre, electronic.
How did it start? What was the first one?
Like this.
Well, it was
Pretty much the same as this, really.
Was it?
Yeah, we had
Less people though.
we just had a normal family barbecue and, invited what 35 people.
It was a folk musician, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You and your friends had seen Will Killeen, hadn't you?
Will Killeen, yeah.
You decided you want to book him.
Yeah. So we had
a pub.
We had a barbecue, about 35 people,
yeah.
and this folk singer. The following year, everybody said do it again, so we did it again and invited about 100 people. There was like 200 people came, and then we did 5 in the end.
Yeah.
And over these 5, by about the end of the 5th, it was starting to get known around Bromyard, and I mean, I remember walking out the one night and expected to see 200 people on our lawn, and there was like 500 people there. It was just ridiculous.
Really?
So the following year, we got ourselves insured.
Yeah.
It started to cost money to put on then.
Yeah.
And so it was £10 donation, but nobody paid. So then we started. It was £10 then, to get in, and we did about 2 or 3.
Yeah, it grew naturally.
And then it became licensed. I mean, we've probably only been licensed a year or 2 when you got involved, wasn't it?
That's it. We ended up playing. What 2000?
The Anomalies.
Yeah. Well, for those who don't know, before we flip burgers for a living, me and Lee were in a band called the Anomalies. Yeah, and we did a gig. Yeah, it must have been quite early on, wasn't it?
You played
was it that
for a few
early?
years in a row, didn't you? Or certainly, you played a few times.
Well, we did. Well, like the first sort of year we were a band, we got a gig somehow.
You played before the main stage was built, though, didn't you? When it was still just a garden stage.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I remember you didn't even have a table for us to put the stuff on, so we had an ironing board. That we were given, and we had
decks.
Yeah, we had all the decks on an ironing board. That's a sort of tin pot. It didn't get much better year from year actually.
We painted the legs black.
Well, that
we still use that now for the main act.
Yeah, it's about Andy C plays on.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, we'll start chopping these steaks up. So we're gonna just do a little bit of prep on here. So, Rob, we'll get you to do this first.
Yep.
So one good little tip sometimes with steaks is to make really, really sort of small little lines like that across, just little incisions. What it does, it increases the surface area of the steak, and also gives the seasoning a little bit of something to hold on to.
Penetrate it, I guess. Maybe,
yeah, and you get these nice little sort of curly bits. You don't want to go too deep, but it's just there to sort of give the salt something to stick, so you give a bit more sort of crisp on the outside of that as well. So if you sort of start cutting that one up. So these ones are seasoned 24 hours ago. So if you're ever cooking a steak at home or whatever, tips are either season it while you're cooking, or if you've got time, season it the day before. So what you can do is whack a bit of salt on it, wrap it in cling film, and then what happens is the salt draws moisture out of the steak, and then the steak reabsorbs it back in, and it sort of seasons the whole steak, so it'll be salty sort of the whole way through.
Yeah, okay.
So,
both sides?
Yeah, both sides, yeah.
Who was the first big act you got then?
I don't know which came first, whether it was John Power or Friction.
John Power.
Was Friction the first big DJ?
Friction was the first big name DJ we had, yeah. And he was the last DJ who ever had at the Crystal Room. He was, yeah, that is true. Again, for those of you who don't know me and Lee in a previous life before flipping burgers, we used to run club nights.
With a passion.
Because we didn't make any money.
No.
There's no money to be made in music or festivals, as these guys will probably tell you. And
No.
I just bought a Jag though.
Oh yeah. Should the tax man be watching this?
Cut that.
But it's become known as well as the band stuff as a bit of sort of like it's really good for its dance music lineup, isn't it?
Yes,
sort
yeah,
of,
yeah.
So who's your favourite sort of DJ that you've had at Nozstock?
I suppose it'd have to go down as Andy C, really.
The Executioner.
Yeah.
He headlined the drum and bass stage 4 years in a row. Kind of came the first time, loved it,
Yeah.
wanted to come back, did it on the cheap. And it was a real, for us, you know, he's the biggest drum and bass DJ in the world, isn't he? Just
Yeah.
is,
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
And
There's a bit of
big thing for us.
a bit of a link with you on that as well, because he was obviously then, and he still is the biggest drum and bass DJ around.
Yeah.
And we were still very small, and only had a couple of, you know, friction and a couple of small names, and we were trying our hardest to get him, and emailed the agent loads of times, and he was playing at the jailhouse
Yeah.
when you were running that
Yeah,
club,
yeah.
and he turned up, and I had this bit of a folder put together about Nozstock and why we wanted him to play, to try
Yeah.
and persuade him, because it was proving difficult to get him, and you know, we were the place to come, and he started playing at your club. And about 10 seconds into the first song, the electric went off. Do you remember? And it went off 3 times. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Were you
When
there?
he was fuming.
He was
Yeah,
fuming.
yeah. I
And
used
there was
to-
me stood outside with the with his folder, trying to persuade Andy C to come back to everything. And he was fuming.
There was quite a few times I
So you
annoyed
nearly
Andy
blew
C.
Nozstock. You nearly
Yeah.
finished Nozstock off, Murph. There,
Yeah,
like,
well-
that was one of your better performances.
Well, one of the
You
problems-
should have checked the fuse.
One of the problems with the jailhouse was the whole place was falling apart.
It was, yeah.
The decks used to skip and the power used to cut out. And so I think on 3 or 4 occasions I'd fallen out with Andy C. But he kept coming back.
You
Because
did.
Because we were paying him.
if you pay somebody, yeah, they'll
Yeah.
generally come
Anyway,
back.
he agreed to come, and he just loved it. And as you know, he did 4 years in a row
Yeah.
headlining.
It really
He
helped
put on a
us
real
to-
good show there as well.
Yeah,
He
and,
seemed to love
it's
it,
great,
didn't he?
and he wrote. I mean, he wrote some great articles. Well, you know, pieces. In
Yeah,
art.
yeah.
He put it. There was one, wasn't this? He was asked what was his favourite festival in the UK, and he put Nozstock.
I think it's probably because that for them, especially they're used to going around the world playing these huge
Yeah.
sort of events now. But Nozstock's still got that sort
very
of like,
personal, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's that personal. It's almost like a rave vibe to it.
Especially that stage.
I can always
Yeah,
remember
like
when he,
definitely
when he,
raves.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he
yeah.
arrived, and we were trying to keep people away from him, right, in the early days, and he arrived, and I think he didn't know what to expect, and he sort of turned up in this old yard with a bit of a broken down tractor, and something, he was a bit sort of.
What have I signed up for?
Yeah, and then he walked in and he had a look, and he went like that, and he
Yeah,
absolutely went for it. Like, and he always said it was like raves used to be. He's put it down as.
Well, it is. I'm going to chuck the steak butter on now
Yeah.
to start that melting. So in here we just got a bit of garlic, we've got some rosemary, we've got some thyme. So I'm just going to get that on, and then you guys are going to be getting these steaks on here. So yeah, I mean, because the drum and bass arena there, it is an old cattle shed, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a cubicle house of cows. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so for those of you who've never been to it, it's a real cool little sort of dark, dingy. What you get about what? 800,
Yeah,
500,
yeah.
something like that.
Well,
people in
Gordon's watching.
there? Yeah, a lot of people in there.
You got a few people in there, yes.
But it's a great little stage. It's probably one of the most popular stages at the festival, isn't it?
I played in there the one
You
year.
have, yeah.
That's my favourite set I've ever,
Really?
ever played.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
What were you playing? What genre?
Just like old school rave,
Right.
like jungle. Yeah, and it was it had started raining, so everybody came in there.
Yeah,
So
you got lucky, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. It was people weren't normally bothered.
No, no, that's it. Well, I played the year after. There was 2 people in there.
Did you ever play a number?
Yeah, I've MC'd for that set,
Yeah,
I
MC'd
think,
for that one,
and
yeah.
I've MC'd for a few guys in there. We used to just wander around and try and get on the mic in there, and they used to let me because I had a backstage pass.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you wouldn't get one these days, though.
No,
we
no, I
tightened
wouldn't,
it up
no.
a lot. We wouldn't let you back then.
no, they'd be like, who's this old git? Go back to flipping burgers, old man. Right, so I'm going to get you guys to chuck these steaks on, so you can do one each. So yeah, if you got the great thing about a tomahawk is it gives you sort of like a little handle there to cook. So Noz, if you want to grab this one as well, mate. So you can see over here what I've done is I've set it up so you got basically two sections. So we've got yeah, and that's a great way to cook steaks is to sear them off really hot first and then move them over to a sort of colder bit. So this is a mixture of silver birch and oak that we've got on here, which is from John at Birchwood.
That's by
and
design then, the different
You pick that wood
Yeah.
for that purpose, then?
Yeah, well, you get a really good flavour with oak, and you get a real nice sort of temperature with silver birch as well. So I like to mix the two, and you get a good bit of heat, good bit of sort of
Lovely.
flavour and that. So what I've done is I've oiled it up. This is a good little tip, like for
Yeah, I was gonna ask
doing a
about
grill. Yeah, just whack a bit of an onion on a thing, and it's just a great way of like sort of greasing your grill grates up. Then what I do is chuck them on. Get them on there.
On the hot bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything on, or the bone off the bit so you can grab it all.
Yeah, I tend to, yeah. Then it gives you something to hold on to, that handle, because it can get hot. You kind of want to leave it there for a few seconds and give it a bit of a twist around, and then just sort of keep it moving. So every few seconds, sort of move it about. So, what's sort of the craziest rider you guys have had from anybody? Has anybody been like...
Beardy man had he wanted a framed picture with the word, was it fuck or cunt?
Cut. So the guys had a Jurassic 5 playing at the festival, and we've done a little thing with you guys for the last few years where we create a burger based around an artist. So one of the artists that plays in Nozstock will give us some sort of ingredients that they want in a burger, and then we'll put it together.
You had Sugar Hill Games the other, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Rapper's Delight.
That was it. Yeah. Oh,
That'll be now.
That'll be my agent.
So what's it like working with your old man?
It's a nightmare.
I can imagine.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Like a tight old farmer.
Who said he was? Who said he was mine?
So yeah, when you guys had Jurassic 5 down, so they designed a burger first, but they also came to the restaurant and had some food there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then
That cost us a fortune.
Yeah.
you fucking paid for that. my missus gave him all a t-shirt, and then it was Murph Stag Do.
It was, yeah.
And they came out on the stage to play,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
were all wearing Beefy Boys
Oh, that's
t-shirts.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, fuck!
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
It was
I
amazing.
reckon that's probably my favourite gig we've had there. I've always loved Jurassic 5.
It was,
Yeah,
it was
They,
real good.
they just smashed it.
Because J5 MC, we're here to rock. Time guys can never be stopped. You got the bow of us, even though it's 6, we guarantee the succeed. We're bringing you this.
They were brilliant. Yeah, they really were. They were a great live act. Yeah. And so the burger that they came up with is you can get it at a restaurant. It's called the Jurassic Classic Nozboy. Probably the biggest name we've got of any burger. And it's got a fried egg in it, spinach, honey mustard, mayo, and ketchup.
It's my favourite actually.
It's really good.
Really good. It's the egg.
Yeah.
An egg.
Yeah. I'd love to try one, but I've never been able to afford it.
We're very reasonably priced. I don't believe a word of it.
Competitive.
Yeah. So we're getting a nice crust on there.
It's beautiful.
Nice bit of sort of char. So we'll give it a little bit more. Then what we're going to do is chuck it over into sort of the cooler part on here as well. So we've got a bit of Rob. If you want to get a bit of that steak butter and use that sort of thyme thing just to give it a little sort of bit of a sort of brush on top. Yeah, that's it. So in there we just got the rosemary, garlic, a bit of thyme.
You also did the Sugar Hill Gang burger, didn't you?
Yeah, so and that's really nice. And both of these burgers, we originally when they got put on the menu, we intended to keep them on for like just a month or something while the festival was on. But both of them were so popular that we decided to keep it
So
on.
the profit on them has been immense.
Yeah.
We
don't see any of that, do we?
Well, you're going to get 2 steaks today, aren't you? So you'll get a bill. So right, we're going to take these steaks. Now we've got a nice sort of bit of crust. You can sort of see that on there. A nice sort of bit of char on them, and we're going to chuck them into sort of the cooler part of the grill now to finish them off sort of slow. So it's always great to cook a steak that way.
About how long do they take, Murph, on the slower?
Well, it's
They're quite thick, aren't they?
They are quite thick. It's kind of very long as a piece of string with him. Basically, for a good sort of medium rare, you're looking sort of anywhere between sort of 52 to sort of like 55C. With tomahawks and ribeyes and that, you are sort of better off going a little bit high on it, because they've got quite a bit of fat in them.
So what's your favourite non-stop moment then?
The anomalies.
Other than that, obviously.
Yeah. To me, because I like that kind of music, when Andy C first walked in there, I said earlier that's probably that moment. But equally, I don't get to meet or bother to meet many of the main stage headliners, but the one I did meet, I would have to pick it out, was Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. She was
a legend.
She was 82.
She was 82?
Yeah, she was when she played, dancing in the street and all that. And I knocked on the door and asked if I could just say hello. And she said, "Oh, come on in and sit down." And we had a good chat.
That's cool.
And I walked her to the stage, and she was absolute lovely. She was. So those would be my favourite.
Did you guys have had some artists for real cheap, like it went on their way up, who've gone on to be?
Yeah.
Jake Bugs.
Jake Bugs.
How much was he? 50 quid or something?
100 quid.
Yeah.
100 quid. Didn't you guys have George Ezra as well? We're making that up.
We did, but he missed the train.
He missed the.
So
He had
again,
Tudor Cinema Club. They were nothing at the time, weren't they?
he did miss the
Yeah,
train
Tudor.
and rang and wouldn't have got there in time for his gig.
Oh, that's it.
Jake Bug did a gig almost exactly a year after ours, and I hear that he was 100 grand.
Blooming hell. Right, it's incredible how these people go up. I mean, we had Rag and Bone Man at the jail house for 50 quid.
We had Chase and Slayers for 30 quid.
For petrol money, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, Rag and Bowman would be 100 grand.
Oh yeah, it'd be silly money, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we've tried to book him a couple of times, but he is. Yeah, it's massive money.
Right, so next thing we're going to make now is Caesar salad dressing. So I need one of you guys to chop that bit of garlic up for me.
Steaks, anything.
It's just like the festival.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you'll take all the glory though. Yeah.
So I'll give you a good tip in, obviously you don't chop your fingers off.
Okay, cooking's not my forte, Murph.
So if you could use your fingers like that there, and then you can guide it down. Do you know what I mean? You won't risk, if you use your knuckles as a bit of a guide, then you won't chop the end, So another good tip with this is because we want to get it into a bit of a puree.
Is that good enough?
That was for
No, that's a no. That's a no from Murph.
So yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a bit of rock salt on top of here now. And I might jump in and give you a hand here because we've only got so much film in the camera.
Right, okay.
So, Right, so we put some garlic in there, and then the next thing's anchovies. Do you ever eat much anchovies?
Yeah.
They always go really good with sort of beef and that. I want one of you who's strong. Go on.
So masculine.
So I loosened it. Right, and one of the great things about the festival as well is how much you guys have expanded it from year to year. And like, cause we went this year with my wife and my daughter, and was it the elephant graveyard stage? That's amazing.
Oh, it's so cool, yeah.
That's like one of my favourite areas now.
Yeah, everyone says that. Yeah, it's nice that we've added something new that it's gone down well. Generally, you know, it's like you never know. Again, it's the same thing. I've put a lot of work and effort into it, and like programming and reggae in house, reggae in the daytime and house at night. We felt like there were two genres that. You did so well. They're two genres that we kind of felt were lacking slightly, or that there was a good, our crowd wanted more of.
Yeah.
You know, and it's gone down really well.
That's good. That was really good. Because so what's your guys' favourite stage? Have you got like one, or is it sort of? You have to pick one.
I think we've got so many different genres, haven't we? We try and be like a mini Glastonbury in a way. You know, we've always felt like there's a lot of festivals that they might do hip hop and ska and drum and bass, but
it's quite a broad cross section.
Yeah, we try and have a little bit of everything. So I guess my favourite stage changes throughout the day. You know, there's the bandstand. There's a lot of up-and-coming artists. Yeah. In the daytime, that's really cool. We can chill out over there for a few hours in the sun. You know. And then in the middle of the night, obviously the cubicles with the drum and bass acts is you know.
Garden stage is always good around like between 9 and 12. That's really the place.
When the sun goes down, that stage gets sort of amazing, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah, we had Mark in a couple of years ago, and he commented it was his favourite gig of the year.
Yeah.
To do that Sunday night headline show on the garden stage.
Yeah. So in here, Don, we've got anchovy, bit of garlic, and an egg yolk. So I'm gonna need one of you guys to grab the whisk. There's gonna be a couple more things we're gonna add. So I'm gonna chuck into this a little bit of. The best thing to come out of Worcester, which is this.
Yes, I quite agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in there, and you can start whisking that up. Now, so what I'm going to need you to do, mate, is if you come around here, you're going to have to start adding this oil, like really sort of slowly, while Rob whisks it up there, okay?
Good wrist action there.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I've got powerful wrists, lots of practice.
So with the day-to-day sort of like, what sort of roles do you guys take on like when the festival's sort of on? Who kind of does sort of what?
I do the cooking. How much of this do you want in, Murph?
Yeah, keep going, keep whisking. Yeah, we're looking for it. Should go sort of nice and creamy.
Yeah, we've all got different roles in right through the winter in the build-up.
Yeah.
And over the weekend, really. Rob runs the arenas, didn't you?
I don't know what that means quite, but yeah. Everyone's roles are quite vague, and it's a smaller festival, isn't it? Everyone does a little bit of everything.
Everyone's got to do everything,
you know?
I do the car parks and the toilets.
And I guess
and the campsites.
He loves the car parks. It's your favourite bit, isn't it?
Yeah,
if you're honest.
I'm at the car park most of the weekend.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Dog in.
So you see, as you're adding that oil with the egg yolk and that, it's all sort of emulsifying and that. So yeah,
can't you afford an electric whisk?
Hey, I can do. I just like to see you do some.
Well, it's tiring.
do you think if we get called off with coronavirus, do you think I could get a job in the Beefy Boys?
Based on today, I'd say no.
No, your dicing's terrible, isn't it?
as a cook.
I think we'll probably get you on pot wash. Yeah, that'd be alright. So outside of Nozstock, do you guys get to go to many other festivals, or are you just sick of it?
I try to. I went to Boomtown for the last few years.
Boomtown's great, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really good. The
it's
production
wild,
of that festival's awesome.
It's incredible. Yeah. It's like a high watermark, isn't it?
And do you like sort of get a few ideas from that when you go?
Yeah. We steal as many ideas as we can. Yeah,
that's what we do. That's,
I haven't been to another festival for quite a few years. But we used to always go to Glastonbury as a family.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? What, before Nozstock was a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Brilliant.
I think it's kind of where what Nozstock came from, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
We go as a family, all camp together. And my sister and mum would go off, and they'd go to the theatre tent or the folk tent. I'd go and watch the indie bands and that. Dad would be off his head raving all weekend.
But now you say that, I mean, because I've only ever been to Glastonbury once, but that is one of the things very similar between you and Glastonbury is the fact that it's not just music. There's like the theatre, there's the art, there's
we
the
try
cinema.
to. I think you've got to nowadays, haven't you? There's so much.
Keep whisking.
Knackered, man.
A tiny little bit more, and then we'll go with the lemon juice in there.
Pour it in, man.
Well, I don't know what to put.
So I've only ever been to Glastonbury once. I think it was it was last year before they actually built a proper fence.
Oh yeah, I
2000.
The year,
wild.
It was crazy.
2000.
It was like the year 2000. Yeah.
When Left Field headlined the other stage on the Saturday
Yeah,
night.
it was Bowie was playing.
Bowie
I
was
think.
playing, yeah.
And that was mad because we went down.
Yeah, it was.
We literally got a taxi from Hereford down to there. Got there. And we were trying to find a way in, like through the fence. This bloke was like, "Oh, pay me £5, mate, and I'll show you a way in." So he gave me £5. He went, "Oh, over there," and he pointed, and the fence was literally just down, and people were just walking in and out. So we walked, and I think that was the year that there was 250,000 people there, and it was supposed to be
I
125.
there were people
Well,
sleep on the roads.
Yeah,
I heard rumours there was over 300,000 there.
It could
quite
have
good sources.
very, very busy. Right, so while they're answering the phone, yeah, it was a very, very busy year that, and it was literally, you'd have like a burger van, and there'd be people who were having to camp literally in front of the burger van. It was
I
madness.
used to go to Glastonbury, I used to go to Global Gathering, Homelands, Creamfields.
Yeah, do them all. Yeah. Right, so we've got a bit of lemon juice going in there. Oh, Lee, could you grab the parmesan, mate? There should be some parmesan over there as well. That's some good whisking. That is very, that is very thick. Might actually need to thin that out a little bit. Like that.
More oil.
Yeah, a bit more oil. Right, so we're going to add a little bit of parmesan to this as well. There'll be more parmesan sort of going in the salad. Right, just going to taste a little bit of that.
That's about the time you came as a Beefy Boys, isn't it? Yeah. There's been a long-term connection between you lot and the festival, so it's...
Yeah,
we've asked you a couple of times, but you've been a bit big for us, haven't you? So what goes up must come down.
So we've always been like we'd rather go than actually work it.
Yeah,
it's kind of been,
you had your stag do there, didn't you, mate?
I did, yeah. What I can remember of it, I had a great time.
Jurassic.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I came up to see you on the Sunday afternoon about 2 o'clock, so and you just left.
Yes, yeah.
I never actually saw you on your stag weekend at Nozstock.
I've been to Nozstock God knows how many times, but I've never made it to the Sunday night. I'm a horrendous lightweight. Right, okay, so next thing what I need you guys to do is, because we've got some romaine lettuce here, so you guys can just rip that
Romaine?
up. Romaine, yeah.
I was leave.
We don't want to get into that.
Let's talk about it.
So yeah, just get in there, rip up a few of those. You can keep it in this one, so you just rip it up, chuck it in.
Shall I help?
Then you can leave a couple of them quite sort of big and sort of chunky as well.
Yeah. Make nice patterns, man.
Right, yeah, that is lovely. You're going for a Michelin star here, so I'm just going to take these out once. I'm going to put them back in. Don't worry.
This wasn't up to standard.
Well, no, it's fine.
He does this to me all the time.
So,
It's good. Right, so we're going to put some of this Caesar salad dressing in there now. Did you guys want to try a little bit actually before? Do you want to try it on this one? Give it a go. Dip that in. Try it out.
It's horrible. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, people usually buy Caesar in a bottle and that, but it's so easy to make.
Good.
Do you know what I mean? It's real good. It always goes well with.
Smoky almost.
Yeah, but that's been some of the smoked salt and that we've got in there as well. So right, we're going to chuck a little bit of this in to here, and then you can use these. Might need a little bit more, but you can use these 2 spoons to sort of like dress that if you want, Rob.
Yep.
No, I mean the Beefy Boys was a total accident, really. Again, like for those who don't.
like Nozstock, really?
Same way
Yeah.
Rose did.
Yeah, like as a barbecue, really. We've always said like the Beefy Boys is generally it's a drunken barbecue that's really got out of hand. Just taking these steaks off now, Dom. If you want to get a look at that. So yeah, it started off at Dan, who's not here today. he gave me a call one day and said, I know you like eating, and I'm having a barbecue. Do you want to help me cook for it? Oh, no, we chuck those ones into there now, mate. I said, oh, well, I'll take it now.
In a nice pattern.
I know, into not quite, but just like into there. Yeah, and he said, do you want to give me a hand cooking for it? And I said, yeah. I said, but if we're going to do it, let's not do like a boring sort of British barbecue. Let's do a real good sort of American one with like burgers and all that. So we jumped online, we watched loads of videos, bought a load of recipe books, and we kind of like learned how to do it, and then did it for our mates, and they were like, this is really, really good. And then Christian, who's our friend, he'd been working as a runner for the BBC, and he'd just been to a festival called Nozstock the year before, and he said, you guys should enter this. So then myself, Lee, Dan and Christian, we all entered into Nozstock, which is a barbecue competition. We did that for a couple of years, didn't we? We've
been doing small pop-ups between in amongst that, haven't we?
Yeah, we go into like Lee's mum had a garage.
Like Texaco garage and
we'd set up a little broken barbecue, and we'd sell like 10 burgers, make a £5 each, and we thought it was brilliant.
And we were doing the jailhouse as well.
Yeah, we do it at the club on like a Wednesday night, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
It was just something we did for a laugh, really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then eventually we won best burger at Nozstock, and then because we won that, we got entered into the World Food Championships in Las Vegas.
Yeah, of course.
Flew over there, came second, and then from that point it just all went sort of mad.
You've been over 2 or 3 times, haven't you? You went to
5 times.
Have you been
now.
5?
Yeah.
Where else have you been?
So we've been to first time we went to Vegas, which was amazing. Second time was Orlando, which was cool. Then Alabama, we've been to twice.
You must have liked Alabama, I'd have thought.
I tell you what, we were a bit worried about Alabama being quite sort of redneck and a bit, but it was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, you were down on the coast, weren't you?
Nice. We were down
the south,
Orange,
it's a bit
Orange
different
Beach.
down there, isn't it? Yeah.
And the second time we went to Alabama, we actually got to go to New Orleans.
That was great.
New Orleans is like, that's my favourite place in America.
Yeah.
It's,
I haven't been there yet.
You got to go. It's like the music, the food, everything is brilliant. And then the last one we went to was in Texas. And so we got to go to Dallas and Austin, and they were both amazing, weren't they? They were really good. Right, so just to finish off these last sort of bits, so Noz, if you can see that pot there, right? And so that's some Parmesan. We'll chuck a little bit of extra Parmesan on top of the sort of Caesar salad.
Take this off.
There, and if you take the clean from off, and this is we've got bacon bits here. So with that, we deep fry some local streaky bacon, and then we once it's dried, we blitz it up.
Bacon fries at the restaurant. Bang.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, well, this is what we used to top them. So we're going to just do a sprinkle of that over the top of the sort of Caesar salad. There you go. So a nice rustic presentation on that, is what we like to say. Cool. So there we got our 2 steaks and our Caesar salad. Do you guys want to cut it up, actually?
We'll leave it to the expert.
We'll let you do it.
Lee, you should cut it up. I'm like a silent partner.
I'm happy to watch.
So we'll cut these up and see what you guys reckon. You guys want to know on that at all? It's always quite nice. You always get a couple of really good bits by the bone. I'll give you one as well, Rob, so you can have a.
The one thing I'd love to know the answer to: will we ever see a return at Nozstock of the anomalies?
Well, it's funny enough. We were talking about maybe like doing an anomalies thingy the other day, weren't we, Murph?
Yeah, and well, actually, funny enough, because I had Sam, who's one of our band members from the Anomalies, came round for my birthday, and then we were talking about getting together to write some music. I think
Never say never.
I think we probably would do it one day. It's finding the time, really.
But like that now?
Yeah, whack it down there. So I'm just gonna whack a bit of extra salt sort of on top. Yeah, we'd love to do it, but it's like, you have to put sort of at least 2 weeks aside.
2 weeks of rehearsal.
To get the band tight, to do it. But I think we did it, when was it, about 4 years ago, I think, was the last time we did it? 4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
It's more than that.
Maybe 4, yeah, but that was great. I remember Sam set off a glitter cannon on stage and got glitter. I'm still.
No, somebody handed him a tub of glitter.
Oh, that's right.
And he launched it and it exploded over the crowd and just covered all the
equipment.
Everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab some glitter. Grab some glitter. We all know you're my neighbors in the head. You know what I do? I freestyle for fun. Anybody in the crowd, you want some chewing gum?
Like, even more music equipment that I've got now, 5 years later, I'm still pulling glitter out of it at the moment.
We're still pulling it over the lawn.
Yeah, I've got that. So jump in. So here's our steaks. There's our tomahawk steak and our Caesar salad, and you can also dip a bit of the steak into the Caesar salad dressing if you want as well. Some nice sort of good pieces in there if you want to grab it, help yourself. Jump in, Rob, mate. Grab whichever bit you want.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's beautiful and tender as well, isn't it? It's one of the great things about cooking it like that. Searing it off and then finishing it off really low. You're almost like guaranteed a sort of tender steak really, because you know.
It's outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah, it really is.
Wicked. Well, thanks very much, guys. So that's our tomahawk steak and Caesar salad. And thank you to Rob and Noz from Nozstock. And once again, when's the festival on? What date is it?
23rd of July.
23rd.
I beg your pardon.
23rd to 26th of July.
Yeah, so get your tickets online and you follow Nozstock and that on Facebook and stuff, and the Beefy Boys as well.
And have a Beefy Boys while you're there.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, good music and good food. Brilliant. Yeah.
Nice one, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cool. Thanks, guys.
It's fucking horrible, that steak.